Hi my friends, welcome back to Falcons RC, and we're going to keep building the F-3. Now that our wing is done, we're actually going to go ahead and proceed and build the fuselage. As you noticed on the previous video, this is very easy to put together. Now we're going to the fuselage, and I already traced out all my parts from the paper, but I left, the nose part right here. I left some paper on the side because this makes it a lot easier to cut it directly on the foam. Same thing on this part right here, on the other nose part. This is the bottom of the fuselage. And also notice here, I don't think I'm going to be able to zoom good, but to this blue line, we're going to cut another nose part only the nose part basically, because this is going to be the top of the fuselage. So let's go ahead and do this, guys. Let me show you how I do it. So I'm going to glue this piece of paper right here on this point. I'm just going to tack it basically with some glue. I'll put some glue on the back over here, and on the nose point part on the front I'm just going to tape it. The reason I'm just tacking it with this glue is because the lines are straight. There is no too many curve or anything, and I'm actually going to take advantage of this straight edge cut that is on this thing already. Okay, so now we got that there. I'm going to grab some tape on the nose part. I do going to tape this thing all the way around, so make it easier, a lot easier to cut. And now on the fuselage and on the nose, see this line, guys, is not straight basically from this point all the way to this corner. It's not a straight line. I actually have a turn when you get to this point right here. I mean, it's not a sharp turn, it just breaks the other direction. So basically this whole part right here is the same width, and on this part right here it starts getting thinner. Same thing on the fuselage, basically to keep your battery tray of the same width and height all the way around. This part right here is the same width to this point, and from this point back it start going up. You really can't tell it that much on the blueprints, but it's there, guys. You will see it whenever you are trying to cut this, how it just turns. So let me cut this off, guys. To this point I'm going to use the ruler. And okay, my friends, you notice it's already cut and it's attached to the fuselage right now because of the little tab of glue, but we can just peel it off. And this is the bottom fuselage, so we only need one of these. So let me go ahead and cut two of the other ones, because we are going to need two of the sides, one right and one left. So let me go ahead and cut this, and we are gonna put it together. Now that we have the parts cut out, it's time to glue them together. What we're going to be doing here is leave the bottom of the fuselage flat on the surface, and we're going to glue the sides to the sides of the fuselage. The glue I'm going to be using, guys, is the glue I've been using for all my projects. I showed you this before actually. It's a fabric glue. You can find it any place basically, like Michael's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, any place where you can find stuff for fabrics. So we put some of the glue along the bottom edge of the side wall of the fuselage right here. Very nice. Let me show you how this glue works. We're going to guide ourselves from the back because it's the square parts. So put it in place right here. And remember that the foam turns, so look how the tail lift up a little bit there. Do this, and as we get to the nose, we do this. This is not how it came off, but it's okay. That's just the way how this glue works. So we'll pull it off, let some air to get in here. It makes it dry a lot faster. We'll put it back in place, and it's actually going to stay in place now. This glue is so cheap, guys. It's like $6 for that big bottle, and you can do so many planes with that one. You see that it's staying in place now. A lot easier to work with than epoxy glue or CA glue. Okay, now that this is glue in place, you see, very nice. It's gonna stay there now. The glue is not completely dry yet, but it's dry enough so the parts won't come off. Now I actually went ahead and cut some strips over here of foam too. I'm going to be gluing these ones in here, not just to make this joint stronger, but in that way I can sand this corner around, you know. So let me go ahead and glue these ones along this place, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, my friends, now that I have glued the other side too, and put the foam inside of it, as you can see right there. Only that one strip all the way to the back. Now we're going to put the top of the nose cone right here. I cut it like I showed you before to the blue line. Use the nose part basically of it. Cut it, the nose part of it. And as you can see right here, this didn't quite got to me to the corner over here. It's not right there. That's because we started on the back, which is good because we really need the back to be a square for our firewall. So what we're gonna do now, we're going to put this in here to glue it on place. And as you see, it's not going to go in right because we have this part right here. So we're going to cut some of the nose tip off of it. And also notice that I glue some foam on the bottom too. So when I glue it here, it's going to be allowing me to sand it around. So what I did here, let me see, you know, I'm actually just guessing here like half of an inch in, but I'm not going to cut it straight. I'm going to cut it sideways because this thing is going to sit in there on an angle basically. So cut it off, the wingtip, and don't worry if you cut too much because you can fill it up with light sparkling later on. Put it here, and it's actually too little still a little bit, see? So cut a little bit more. I'm gonna go 1/8 of an inch more. This is actually good, guys, because it was gonna allow us to have a little bit more of a stronger nose tip. That's half inch more, and that will do it perfect. So let me go ahead and glue this, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, my friends, so as you notice, glue the nose in place. And now, you know, this right here, we're just gonna cut it off. And the sandpaper is going to take care of the rest. Now when we sand this nose, it's gonna be look just fine. And then, as you notice, I already put together the cockpit. The cockpit goes together the same way that the fuselage does. The cockpit size glue into the cockpit top, on the size of the cockpit top. And I put the blocks over here, and as you notice too, I put 2 blocks on this one because the cockpit needs to be sanded more round than the fuselage. And also, as you notice, the cockpit top is larger, and I intended this, you know, so we can cut these angles right here and make sure, you know, we have enough foam to cover then every corner basically. Grabber knife right here, as you see, is longer. I don't know the focus. That's why I marked that line right there to see if you can see it better. And flush with the angle that is already on the cockpit side, cut along this line all the way across. And that way we're going to ensure that this thing fits tight on the fuselage. Okay, cut this like that off. And the back right here, we're going to cut all this on this angle right here. It's actually going to be a little bit more complicated. I'm gonna cut this off, this side out, this side out, you see, and now we have a strong back right here to put our magnet into it to secure it to the back of the fuselage. So what I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and do just on this video, even though it's getting a little bit too long, I'm gonna go ahead and sand all this down. I'm going to put it together so you see what it looks like. To sand it, I'm going to be using 100 grit sandpaper to sand it first, and then 220 to do the shape on it. So let me go ahead and sand all these corners down, and I'll show it to you. Okay guys, so I already sand everything down, as you see right here, very nice. I actually didn't went that deep on the fuselage, I mean on the cockpit, but you know, just sand the corners round, and the nose right here, it looks pretty good. I haven't done the 220 sandpaper yet, but anyway, let's go ahead and put it together and to see what it looks like. I already cut the vertical stabilizers, and remember, on the blueprints I specify to cut this notch off. I haven't cut the ailerons yet, but you know, this is slide right here, very nice, and the aileron goes over here. So let me put this in place so you can take a look at it. The rods are there, and the cockpit goes right here. However you want to hold it, with magnets, or you know, however you want to hold it. So there you go, guys. This is a very easy plane to build, very fast to put together. On the next video we are going to get the electronics in place, my friends. So thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe. See you next fly.